Kicked out a family that gatecrashed a private party. I booked a soft play for my son's birthday party. It is both public sessions and private sessions. I obviously booked one of the private sessions and didn't interfere with the usual times it's available to the public. When I opened the buffet, a woman I didn't know approached me asking if her children could have some. I explained I had booked the venue for private party. She said that doesn't matter. My children want some food. I replied no because the food was for the party. She walked away telling her children to just wait until I had left the food area. Realizing she wasn't taking my answer, I asked staff to speak to her. They did, explaining it was a private event and they needed to leave. She shouted that her and her children were not leaving and that I should be told to allow the children to have the food. I went back over, said again it was a private event, and she shouted, "What is a sandwich?" repeatedly at me until I shouted back that she needed to leave. She did eventually leave, flicking the gatecrashed at me as she walked out the door. The soft play wasn't at capacity, and in truth there probably was enough for them to have some of the buffet, but the way she approached me with the assumption I'd say yes, and then blatantly planning to disregard my answer made me stand my ground. So am I the asshole for kicking out the gatecrashers? Edit. Okay, so first of all, I did not expect this to literally blow up the way it has. I thought a couple of people would say yes or no, and that would be a grinning face with sweat apologies for the long edit, but there's been a few themes within comments, so I'll try to address them. A soft play is a massive indoor climbing frame covered in padding and safety nets, with slides and ball pits, etc. I think some may call it a jungle gym, but I'm not sure that is a direct comparison. Flicking the gatecrashed is a peace sign, but showing the back of your hand. About the same level of rude as giving the middle finger in the UK. The venue shares a desk with an adjoining sports hall, which wasn't running open sessions as it was hosting a game. Past the desk is the exit. It's one door in, one door out thing. Door 1 to the soft play, door 2 to the sports hall. I found out later she had come to use the sports hall and was told about the game. Staff thought she went out the exit. I've spoken to the venue about her being able to get in, and they apologized and are changing how they operate the private sessions. Despite this happening, I think the place has appropriate security measures. I think she took advantage of staff being busy letting in spectators to the sports hall and tried her luck. As we have an invite for party here in a few weeks, I'll know if they do and can raise it again if needed, but hopefully won't need to. I went back over when the staff member was talking to her because I felt bad that I put a young girl in the firing line. This woman was just shouting that she wasn't leaving, and I also hadn't spotted them come in, but I should have let her / her manager sort it. This is in the UK. This wasn't a food stamps have been taken and chance a free meal or starve tonight situation. When she eventually left, she brought snacks out of the overpriced vending machine. That obviously doesn't tell any of us her full story, but the venue is like 10 places with a few minutes walk where much more affordable snacks and food choices are. Some people asked about the kids' ages. Top age of an invited child was 5. Her 2 kids were 8/9 and 9/10. I replied to a couple of comments that I would have told her the kids could have some after all the guests had eaten if it had been a question and not a demand. I am responsible for my actions, but they were influenced by hers, and I am glad I stood my ground and wasn't bullied at my own event. Although not proud that I did shout at the end again, I didn't expect this would get so much attention. But to those who were polite and asked questions, thank you. To anyone who asked why are you even asking, or similar, I was asking to gauge if I was